A few introductory comments first about the Rose Prize. It's funded by the EU Centre and awarded by an international committee assembled by the Rose School, and it was instituted in 2008. It's awarded at a frequency of not less than 2 years to individuals who have best interpreted the spirit and vision of the Rose School in its aims of excellence in teaching, research and human relations. This is thus the third time that the prize has been considered for a possible award, and the most recent recipient 2 years ago was Professor Bertero in 2010. A few words about the process first. An announcement was made on the Rose School website late in 2011 inviting nominations. This was accompanied by approaches to individuals by the Rose School, reminding them of the prize and inviting them to make a nomination of their choice. At the same time, an international selection committee of 6 people was assembled. The names are not important, except to note that they are all experts with international reputations in earthquake engineering, with residences in many different countries: Switzerland, United States, Canada, and New Zealand, in fact, in this case. These reviewed a short list of nominations and came to the required unanimous conclusion on their choice. Note that if unanimity had not been achieved, then an award would not have been made. So it is the agreement of all 6 members of the committee that the recipient, who's not yet been named, was the correct one. This was not an easy task, and as chairman of the committee, I'd like to thank the committee members for their efforts. I might add that the geographical distribution of the nominees, the people being considered for the prize, was as diverse as that of the selection committee. Now on to the successful candidate, the recipient of this year's Rose Prize. As I read out the summary of his achievements, it'll become increasingly apparent who the recipient is. This, of course, will not be the first award for this year's recipient of the Rose Prize. He has received numerous awards and honours, starting at a very young age and all through his career. He has held positions of high responsibility, both at a national and international level. When 28 years old, he was the first vice president of the Latin American Association of Seismology and Earthquake Engineering. In recognition of his leadership in international earthquake engineering activities, he recently served as president and now honorary member of the International Association for Earthquake Engineering. He is one of the rather few foreign associate members of the US National Academy of Engineering. In Mexico, he has been recipient of the highest prizes bestowed by the Mexican government. You're getting clear who the person is getting there, I think. He has the National Award of Sciences in the field of design and technology in 1981, and by the National University of Mexico, UNAM, the UNAM Award in 1993. His work and contributions have been widely recognized. He's the recipient of the Science Award of the Mexican Academy of Sciences in 1970, the Technology Award of the Third World Network of Scientific Organizations in 1992, the award of the Mexican Academy of Engineering in 1992 also, the UNAM Award for Technological Innovation and Industrial Design in 1992, a good year for him that was, the Mexican National Award for Civil Protection in 2004, and the American Earthquake Engineering Research Institute George Housen Medal in 2005, amongst other prizes and awards. These are just a selection of the long list of his honors. He has authored an impressive number of papers and technical reports on the subject of earthquake engineering, covering the development of seismic design methodologies, probabilistic approaches for the definition of earthquake hazard, reliability analysis of structures, as well as studies and efforts in the development of building codes for Mexico and other countries. He has served as a reviewer, advisor, consultant, and member of delegations, commissions, and committees for the Mexican Presidency, UNESCO, the Mexican National Council for Science and Technology, universities, institutes, academies, societies, chambers, in many, many different countries. I'm sure that most of you will have guessed by now that this year's recipient of the Rose Prize is Professor Luis Esteva. I will, we are very fortunate. We are very fortunate that Professor Esteva has been able to travel from Mexico specifically to receive this award, and I have great pleasure in inviting Professor Esteva now to say a few words. Congratulations.
Well, Professor Priestley, Professor Calvi, dear colleagues and friends, students graduating today, knowledge students of the Rose School. I feel extremely honored by receiving the Rose Prize 2012. I take it as an expression of recognition from an outstanding institution, highly respected by international earthquake engineering community because of its leadership in both the advancement of this discipline and the education of highly qualified professionals and academics working in it. All this in Europe and around the world. Therefore, reading Professor Priestley's message that informed me about the decision to award this prize to me was one of the most pleasant surprises I have had in my life. I think I must add also, in recognition of this group, the Rose School, or the new name it now has, that I was very fortunate to attend yesterday, to the meeting of the scientific committee of the school. And I was really impressed, actually amazed by all the achievements and all the targets and all the projects and all they have in mind. So I really cannot do less than just congratulate Professor Calvin and Professor Priestley, who have been very active, and of course all those who have participated in the creation of this unique body. So I feel very fortunately, not only because of being the recipient of this great honor, but also because it gives me a very special opportunity to address an audience that includes some of the main leaders of earthquake engineering in the world, who have been sharing their knowledge, their experience, their principles, and their human values with members of the younger generations who will inherit from them a wealth of solid technical capacities and great opportunities for academic and professional development. But above all, they will inherit very significant social responsibilities, because our role as engineers is to make the best use of natural resources and the most efficient control of the risks associated with natural hazards for the well-being of mankind. This is particularly true in our work related to earthquake engineering. It implies both a firm commitment to social service and a wide spectrum of technical challenges covering fields as wide as understanding the process of earthquake generation, assessing the hazards posed by the potential activity of seismic sources in the proximity of engineering systems, estimating the probable response and performance of those systems when subjected to seismic excitations, and developing efficient criteria and methods to control the resulting risks imposed on them. Rational engineering approaches to confront these challenges imply, among other concepts, the development of realistic mathematical models, including criteria to account for the large uncertainties involved, and the formulation of methods for structural analysis and design which attain a balance between theoretical accuracy and practical simplicity. The history of earthquake engineering has been, and I think it will remain to be, a history of continuous learning. I'm sure that we all agree that this discipline has experienced spectacular progress during the last few decades. Our understanding of physical phenomena, such as the processes of earthquake generation and propagation, as the dynamic response and expected performance of engineering systems has substantially improved, and we also have developed realistic, detailed mathematical models to represent them, together with the computational resources required for their application. However, the impact that all these advances have had on practical design applications has not been as wide and as profound as desirable. Leaving aside the cases of non-engineered constructions, too frequent in many seismic-prone regions in the world, these limitations of impact may be largely related to the insufficient dissemination of advances in knowledge among engineers working in the practice of structural design, and to the lack of enough simplified models capable of representing the most relevant characteristics of the seismic response of multi-degree of freedom systems. I think we all agree that a large portion of the life losses and economic consequences of seismic events have been associated with obsolete building codes or inadequate application of modern ones, careless structural design, faulty workmanship, or deficient quality control. But also, each new earthquake brings us new surprises. For instance, disclosing previously ignored sources of higher than expected hazard, vulnerability, and risk, or calling our attention about previously unnoticed risk-enhancing concepts, pointing at urgent improvements in the practice of earthquake engineering. This is true even for regions that count with modern technology and wide economic resources. In our efforts to mitigate seismic risk, we must confront reality. Frequent malperformance of large numbers of structures designed and built in accordance with most modern prescriptions are associated with a previously unknown fault, or magnitude larger than expected, or an abnormally high intensity, an abnormal frequency content, or concealed mechanical weaknesses of the structural systems, deterioration due to previous events or to differential settlements, or extension of accepted or ordinarily accepted engineering tools beyond their ranges of applicability. And I think I can say many words about all the detailed programs, detailed challenges that we have, but I think I prefer to leave a message for the future generation who will inherit all these responsibilities from us. Improving our technical knowledge, criteria, and tools is very important. But it's not enough. We must join forces in programs aimed at the following. For instance, creating or increasing social conscience, and in some cases, even professional conscience, about the existence of seismic hazard and about the need for risk reduction measures. Second, updating building codes, including both structural design criteria and quality control requirements. Implementing civil protection programs oriented to ensuring the careful and efficient application of those criteria and requirements. Creating professional conscience about the many implicit uncertainties, even in the most modern seismic design criteria. That is what lies behind the design rules. And also maintaining, as the Rossi School is doing, continuous education programs for the disseminating of state-of-the-art knowledge and techniques. I think we share many challenges, many responsibilities. We need to work hard and together to join forces to face them. So thank you again for this honor and for this opportunity to leave this message to you. Thank you very much.